What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to go into how to start investing. Before we do that, my name's Keith. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. Before we get into the video, real quick, yesterday on my community tab, I made an announcement that in this video, I would be explaining how you could enter to win my new ebook that I'm releasing, the 30-Day Reset. This book is designed to be a straightforward guide to helping you reset your entire life with some step-by-step actionable processes to, in 1 month's time, have completely changed your life. Before the book even comes out, I'm going to give away 5 free copies of it, and all you have to do to enter is just leave the comment 30 days in this video, and in 1 week's time I'll be announcing the 5 winners on my community tab and how you can get the book. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into this specific topic. How do you start investing? So the reason I wanted to make this video specifically today was because the economy right now is just an amazing time to invest in the stock market. I used to do a lot of investing, then my finances had some issues I had to deal with. My money dried up for a while, and so I wasn't really able to do much with it. But now that I've gotten more back on track, I'm looking forward to really getting back into this, and it's a great time because with the coronavirus situation, it did a lot of bad, but one good thing that happened from it is the stock market is dirt cheap, and a lot of investment banks are suggesting that the stock market is going to soar again now that this situation's kind of finishing off, and they're expecting the rest of the year to be really successful. So you don't have to necessarily be extremely skilled at investing to do pretty well at this time. So I wanted to make this video to hopefully help you guys get into the flow of this, because some people just don't know anything about investing in the stock market. First thing I want to cover was that there's multiple types of investors, and you need to be clear on what kind I think you should be, at least. You can do what you want, obviously, but I really wanted to warn you about one kind of investor, which really isn't even an investor, and it's a day trader. These are the people, they're looking to buy a stock and hopefully make a quick buck that day. These are like really cheap stocks, usually low cap stocks, companies that are barely kind of on the New York Stock Exchange or something like that. And you purchase them and you're hoping that some sort of news is going to cause the value of the stock to fluctuate dramatically and you can make some really quick profits. Now, I made a video about a week ago talking about the worst purchases I'd ever made. I'll link to that right here. But the stock I talked about in there was a penny stock. It was a day trade opportunity I was trying to hit. And the problem with these stocks, there's multiple problems with this. First of all, it's a high risk, get rich quick scheme for most people. Some people are very skilled at doing this. They understand the technical analysis of how to make these trades work, but most people don't. And they end up it's kind of like gambling. It's like you see this great opportunity, but you don't realize that you're statistically very unlikely to hit it. And so you keep throwing money into it the same way you go to Vegas and throw a bunch of money away, but the house always wins. Well, in this case, you're probably going to lose the same way because it's so volatile. There's very little information oftentimes about these stocks available, and people who are like major investment firms are throwing money in here trying to play the same game you're playing, and they're going to have a bigger impact on the situation than you're going to be able to on your own. So I really don't recommend you get into this mindset. It's a short-term mindset rather than a long-term mindset, and the value of investing is building wealth over time so that you're in a good situation as you grow. So what kind of investor do I recommend you be? Well, at our age, in our early 20s and late 20s, if that's how old you are watching this, I recommend you be what I call an opportunity investor. Now, this is my own term for this. Basically, it means you're looking for a stock that you think the price of the stock is going to go up for one of two reasons. Either you think the value is too low, or you think that the company that the stock represents is going to grow and become more valuable, thus the price is going to go up. So I've made, a couple examples from my life that I've done this on PayPal. Now, the reason I picked PayPal and it represents this is because I knew at the time they were just launching the Venmo card. They'd purchased Venmo. I knew a lot of transactions were moving to PayPal and on online payments and things like that. So I knew that that was a market that was going to grow. So it ended up being a very successful investment for me because of that. Another one was a solar company I purchased, and that one worked out really well as well because I knew some information about the company, and I just happened to know that they were expanding into a lot of other states. They had some great investments behind them. So I did my research. That's another key when you're doing this. Don't just pick, it's not like a March Madness bracket where you just pick your favorite mascot for each team. You got to actually know what you're doing here and do a little bit of digging, which is why I recommend when you do this opportunity investing, you pick a sector of the market that you're familiar with. So if you're interested in tech, go look at tech stocks, and you'll be able to figure out more clearly what you think is going to be successful versus what's not. If you're into entertainment or whatever it is, just pick your area where you feel like you have a good beat on what is going on in that specific area so that you can be successful. Like I said, I think this is the best opportunity for people our age, because you can actually usually, if you have any good sense about you can usually be pretty successful at picking stocks like this, especially right now where the whole market's looking to be taken off for the moon. I've talked about in the past Boeing stock on the Self Mastery podcast. I know at least I might have talked to on my channel as well as being a really good one to look into. But I don't want to come off like I'm your investment guru. You need to make your own decisions, and don't make a purchasing decision strictly because I told you to do it. But that's just my thinking on it. The other kind of investor you can be is a dividend investor. Now, this type of investor isn't looking as much at the direct price of the stock, but rather how much cash flow they can get from the stock. So a dividend investment is similar, like buying a stock based on the dividend is kind of like buying real estate for the rental value that comes out of it, because you're going to get paid by the company for owning the stock, the same way you would get paid by the renter for owning the building that they were renting from you. So this is a very long-term strategy because it builds over time. Because you're looking at, like, I mean, if you put $100 into a dividend stock, you're not going to really get much out of it. These stocks, they don't fluctuate much over time. They're the kind of companies that are like bedrock companies of the economy, things like AT&T or ExxonMobil, like stalwarts of the economy that have been around for a long time. They have a lot of cash on hand, and so the value of the company doesn't really change that much very often. These kind of companies, they're going to pay you a dividend. Like I said, it's a great long-term opportunity, and when you're a dividend investor, you're looking for a cheaper price simply so that you can get a better dividend value, essentially. So the dividend is going to be a specific amount of money they're going to pay you for owning the stock. So if the stock value is like $30 and they're giving you $1 dividend, but then the stock value goes up to 40 and they're still giving you that $1 dividend, it's less profitable for you to buy it at 40 because the dividend isn't as valuable, whereas if you buy it as 30. So that's kind of where a dividend investor would look at the price, but they're primarily fixated on how can I get a good value on my dividend, essentially how can I get a good return off the dividend. So what kind of strategy would I recommend for people our age? Like I said, I primarily recommend you do opportunity investing. I think you should probably put about 75% of whatever you decide to invest into these kinds of stocks. But I also recommend that you do some dividend investing, because this can really grow over time, and it is really fun when you start watching money come in that you didn't have to do anything for. And if you're just consistent, you'll look up one day and realize it's actually going pretty well for you, and they're safe stocks too, because most likely they're going to be around for the long haul, because I mean we're always going to need AT&T, like telecom type companies, and we're going to need energy companies and things like that. So that's how I recommend you look into it. And like I said, I really think this is an awesome time to look into investing for beginners. One thing I love about investing is the fact that most people, they spend their money because they're trying to get some kind of excitement or reward out of it. But with investing, you have the chance to actually make money on your money while enjoying doing it and keeping up with it. Whereas if you go buy clothes or go to the club or something like that, the money's spent, it's gone, and you don't have it anymore, and your net worth has decreased. A great way to start investing that I recommend is you check out the Robinhood app. If you've never invested before, I think this is the best place to start. This is the app that I use. The reason I use it is because compared to a lot of other apps, I find that it is very intuitive and straightforward and makes it very fun to keep up with your stocks. It doesn't have a lot of unnecessary information. It gives you the bare bones. Here's what you need to know. Here's how you can make a good purchase. And I had a lot of success using the app. I'm going to link to the app below where you can click on the link, sign up for an account. You don't even have to put any money into the account, and you and I will both get a free stock when you do that. So help me out, help yourself out. You don't even have to be ready to invest, but if you just click the link, you're basically going to get like a free $5 minimum, sometimes even up to $200 for some of the stocks. And then you've got the account ready to rock and roll for whenever you've got cash ready on hand that you want to start investing in. But guys, like I said, seriously recommend you start looking into investing. This is an opportunity that doesn't come around very often, where you can make some huge profits on your money and you could set yourself up in a way better position. You know, too many people our age are struggling massively financially, and you can really put yourself ahead of most other men if you just prioritize your financial future now rather than waiting 10, 20 years and spending all your money on stuff that doesn't make you money back. Guys, if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit the bell icon so you don't miss tomorrow's video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk soon.